Coming live from the studio, this is All Sports with Gerardo. Thank you for watching another episode of All Sports. This is your host Gerardo. On the show today, I am going to talk about my experience at Kauffman Stadium. At the middle every month, I post a video or talk about one stadium I have went to, so stay tuned for future videos from stadiums across the US. For the month of April, I'm going to post a video where I talk about Kauffman Stadium and my experience there. For the next 30 months, I will go in order and tell you about every stadium I have been to across the US. When I post a video talking about a stadium I have been to, there will be two different versions. It will be a video where I talk about the stadium if I have already been there, but if it's a stadium I haven't been to yet, then I will post a video showing you the stadium. To start off with some background history about Kauffman Stadium, Kauffman Stadium is also known as the K to the locals in Kansas City. Kauffman Stadium is located in Kansas City. It's home of the Royals. Kauffman Stadium was named after the founder and the first owner of the Royals. Kauffman Stadium is located next to Arrowhead Stadium, which is home of the Chiefs. Not too many cities here in the US have the baseball and the football stadium in the same area where they're located right next to each other. The only three cities that I can think of that have the baseball and the football stadium right next to each other is up in Seattle, T-Mobile Park, home of the Mariners, and CenturyLink Field, home of the Seahawks. They're located next to each other. Down in Arlington, Texas, Globe Life Park, home of the Rangers, and AT&T Stadium, home of the Cowboys, are located next to each other. And in Detroit, Comera Park, home of the Tigers, and Ford Field, home of the Lions, they're located next to each other. So only Kansas City, Seattle, Arlington, Texas, and Detroit are the only four cities that I can think of where the baseball and the football stadium are located next to each other and they're in the same area. Kauffman Stadium and Arrowhead Stadium are located right next to each other. They're not too far from downtown Kansas City. And just outside of downtown Kansas City is Kauffman Stadium and Arrowhead Stadium, which are located in the same complex. Kauffman Stadium is the sixth oldest stadium in Major League Baseball. They broke ground for it in July of 1968, and it opened in April of 1973. Kauffman Stadium has a seating capacity of over 37,900 seats. Kauffman Stadium also hosted the 2012 All-Star Game. Kauffman Stadium was renovated from 2007 through 2009. Kauffman Stadium has a Royals Hall of Fame out in left field, which honors all of the great Royal players from the past. And there's memorabilia from the players from the 1985 and 2015 World Series the Royals won, and many other memorabilia is displayed in the Royals Hall of Fame. There are also 4 statues on the outfield concourse behind the fountains that honor George Brett, Dick Hauser, Frank White, and former Royals owner Edwin Kauffman. Right now I'm going to tell you my experience at Kauffman Stadium. I went to Kauffman Stadium in August of 2013. What I like about Kauffman Stadium is the layout of the stadium, especially out in the outfield. When you look out to Kauffman Stadium from behind home plate or on the first or third base side of the stadium, you can see the big scoreboard they have. The scoreboard that Kauffman Stadium has is one of the biggest scoreboards in any baseball stadium, and it's a very nice scoreboard. Also, another thing that I like about Kauffman Stadium is out in right field, they got the standing room area that has the deck. that is right behind the fountains that they have. Another thing that's unique about Kauffman Stadium is the fountains that they have out in right field as well. The fountains are very nice. The fountains are nice to see during the day or at night. When it's nighttime, the fountains light up, and they're very nice when they go up and down. And Kauffman Stadium just has a great layout in general. So whether you're behind home plate on the first base side or the third base side, or you're out in the outfield, anywhere you sit inside Kauffman Stadium, or if you're standing in the standing room area on the porch out in right field, you get a really nice view of the game. Kauffman Stadium's a very nice stadium, so if you haven't been out to Kauffman Stadium, I highly recommend that you go out there. If you head out to Kauffman Stadium, you definitely need to walk the outfield concourse. You need to check out the 4 statues out there. There's a statue that honors George Brett, Dick Howser, Frank White, and former Royals owner Edwin Kauffman. Those statues are very nice. Also, the Royals have their own Hall of Fame, which is located out in left field, out on the center field concourse. So, if you're at Kauffman Stadium, you definitely need to check out the Royals Hall of Fame. The Royals Hall of Fame is very nice. When you go inside the building, they have different memorabilia from all the great Royal players from the past, from all the great Royal games. There's memorabilia from the 1985 and 2015 World Series the Royals won. So there's great memorabilia from the 2 World Series the Royals won, from the great Royal players from the past. And there's also memorabilia from different games as well. So if there's 2 things I can recommend to you, if you go out to Kauffman Stadium, you definitely need to go to the outfield concourse. Go check out the Royals Hall of Fame out in left center field. And you also got to check out and see the 4 statues on the outfield concourse as well. You also want to check out the fountains in right field. So Kauffman Stadium is a great stadium. There's a few things that makes it unique as well. In the last decade, after Kauffman Stadium was renovated, Kauffman Stadium is a lot nicer. It looks better now, so you definitely want to check out Kauffman Stadium if you haven't been there before. Tune in the middle of May to find out which was the next stadium I visited, and I will also tell you about my experience at that stadium. Tune in to the next All Sports with Gerardo show next week. I want to say thank you to everybody that watches every episode of All Sports. Subscribe or like my pages on social media at All Sports with Gerardo. Until next time, this is Gerardo.